What's up guys, welcome to part 2 of our Karakol series. We are now in the Karakol market. We're going to try some Dungan food. So this is this kind of Chinese group that moved from China quite a while ago. They settled here, they still speak Mandarin, or a type of Western Mandarin, as well as some other Kyrgyz influence. So we're gonna try it all, come along. We're here in the center of the market now, and an interesting thing about the way that they do food here, they have these menus, all in Cyrillic, but you can see a lot of the food that they sell looks very, very typical, like Chinese or Asian influenced. They have these huge steamer pots, they have different like street food vendors, and you can find noodles everywhere. These are LAGMAN noodles. You typically wouldn't find them in, let's say, Russia, but very, very common fare here. The people of Kyrgyzstan look surprisingly Asian, although they are Turkic, heritage-wise. But you get a big mix between the Turkic people and the Dungan who come from China. So you have a really big variation in the food that you can find in this region. So we're here in our traditional Kyrgyz restaurant. I've got some syrny chai, or black tea, very, very common here. You always start every meal with black tea and some crusty bread, really common. And we've got a bunch of Dungan special foods. These are kind of Muslim Chinese cuisine. We ordered it all. We ordered 5 dishes and she was like, "You're gonna eat that all?" And I was like, "Yes." So we're gonna try it. So we've got an absolute feast in front of us. We've got various dishes of Dungan origin, although this one is Tatar technically, which is an ethnic group from Tatarstan in Russia. You have LAGMAN here. This is a really traditional noodle dish that really inspires that Chinese feeling. They have these noodles that are made out of rice. They're thick, they're chewy, very similar to udon noodles. They always top it up with peppers, with onions, and sometimes with beef, although this one has no beef. We have a similar version over here, which is kind of stir-fried noodles with beef and potatoes. This is, I don't know the name of this, she said it, but it looks quite delicious. So this dish here is called azu. This is what we can call Kyrgyzstan poutine. Technically it comes from Tatarstan, which is a region in Russia. Absolutely delicious. We've got meat, we've got some pickled veggies, we've got some fries, crinkle cut of course, delightful. This dish in front of us is a soup. It's called MOMPAR. It's got these actually thicker version of noodles, very similar to chow fun noodles you find in China. We've got some beef, and it's kind of like a really interesting combination of what you would find in Russia, like a Russian style kind of beef soup, but with noodles. So we got the Asian-Russian mix. This last dish is called OROMO. OROMO is a rolled noodle that's stuffed with meat and with cabbage. Very, very unique. This one I'm very, very excited to try. They have different dumplings here in Kyrgyzstan, and you can see here, got some really nice stuff going on. Woo! All right, first up we're going for the OROMO stuffed dumpling. Let's give it a shot. The OROMO is really nice. You can see this beautiful stuffing they've got here. It's not too meaty. It has nice chew, nice texture. It's a little bit greasy because it seems like they steam it and then they pan fry it a bit. And it's very much like a potsticker. It's not crispy. Very tasty. Number 2, we're trying MOMPAR. It's this flat noodle soup with beef. Very curious how it is. Let's give it a try.
The fact that it's cheap makes it better.
In Russia, they have this beef soup called shi, and this is like a weird mix between kind of like a Chinese idea of shi. Translates really well for the Russian palate, and the beef is really tender. It's a very nice soup. So here we go. We're going for some stir-fried. These are different than the LAGMAN noodles. We've got some sort of red sauce. I'm not sure if it's an oil. Everything's covered in dill. Oh, it's a tomato-based sauce, and everything's covered in dill, so it's got this sort of, I don't know, it's like Russian theme. It's quite nice. Let's give it a try. This is like if you told a Russian person what Chinese food was, but you didn't tell them how to cook it. And so the sauce kind of tastes like a kind of very simple Italian tomato sauce with no spices. And then they just put these boiled potatoes on it and boiled beef. Very weird combination. It's quite tasty, but that's like carbo heavy. We have the notorious dish of Kyrgyzstan. This is called LAGMAN. Here you guys can see it's got a rice noodle. It's very chewy, very nice, and it kind of has this spicy beef vegetable kind of mix on top. Let's give it a shot. This dish is just like Kyrgyzstan. Many carbs for defending your sheep and your land, riding horses in the mountains. It's just stick to your ribs, super, super hefty. It's spiced. All of the Dungan food is like the only spicy food of Kyrgyzstan. The rest typically isn't spicy. So, in general, really good. Just not what you expect from a former Soviet republic. Am I right? Last up, Azu. I like the name. It's Tatar. It's very famous here. I would say the crinkle cut French fries is probably not like traditional, but I'm not going to tell them how to cook their own food. Let's give this Russian poutine a try. I literally hit myself in the face with an onion. Yeah, it has a sweet tomato broth over it. It has the same kind of beef that you find on the rest. They have pickles in there for some tang. And it's kind of weird that you would fry something and then cover it in some sort of broth. So the potatoes are quite soggy. But it's an interesting one. Azu. So the crazy part about all this food is that all of this costs $8 US. No joke. If you go to Starbucks, you order a Frappuccino here, it's $5 US, or you could eat where the local people eat, and you could have an absolute feast for pretty much pennies on the dollar. Really high quality food, very carb heavy, but super tasty. So we're gonna take you to one more place. We're gonna try maybe the most famous Dungan food, and you will see it here. So the host here just gave me the national drink of Kyrgyzstan. She called it napitak. Actually, napitak just means drink. I think this is bozo. I'm not sure. We're gonna try it. It's very frothy. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's weird.
Is it sweet?
No, it's like fermented grain drink. It tastes almost like sour milk at the start, but it actually smells like when you like leave bread out or you ferment beer. The starting stage is, I actually think that's what it is. It might be marginally alcoholic, but not enough to do any damage. So, na zdrowie. Okay, спасибо. Wow, that is not a choo-choo. That's big. Cheers to you, man. This is a big thing. All right. That's like sweet though. That's a sweet one though. Yeah, it's like mixed or something. So we're here with our Kyrgyz friends. They don't speak any English, but Rahmat. Rahmat. Spasiba, spasiba. So we asked them just like for a little bit because my friend here doesn't even drink, and they poured us literally half a little Gatorade cup of vodka. And it's only 3 p.m. on a Sunday. It is a Sunday, I will say. Pretty good. So we're headed now to spot number 2, but I wanted to quickly say something about Dungan food and how it differs from, let's say, mainland Chinese food, because it is in spirit made by Chinese people, and it actually, like, they're physical Chinese people. So the difference is that we're here in a region where not a lot of things grow. So a lot of the things we found on the table were very mildly spiced with a lot of the same ingredients and the same meat. In China, they can grow a lot more variety, a lot more vibrant fruits and vegetables and herbs and aromatics, but here you're kind of stuck with the typical, like we can call it the Russian vegetables, cabbage, potatoes, beets. So that kind of shaped the cuisine. So just too, as like American Chinese food was shaped by the taste of the people there as well as the available ingredients, this too is also changed by this kind of Soviet Russified Chinese cuisine. Interesting. The secondary thing about the food here is that it's all very carb and meat heavy based on the fact that they can't grow a ton of different vegetables. So they do the carbs. It's a country with a lot of poverty. It's cheap, it's easy to produce, and it feeds a lot of people. And the meat, a lot of it's stewed meat, maybe the offcuts from different kinds of beef, lamb, or goat, something like that. And also, since these are Chinese Muslims, they also don't eat pork. Yeah, I really didn't need that vodka. So we're here outside of our second location. This is called ASHLAN Fu, or Bereket Cafe. This place is known in the city for their delicious ASHLAN Fu, a noodle soup that is maybe the most famous dish here from the Dungan people of Kyrgyzstan. Let's go. Okay. Our last spot brings us for some ASHLAN Fu. This is a cold noodle soup. Very interesting because it's got these sort of larger, we can call them rice cakes. And then we've got the cold noodles that I'm pretty sure are the same ones that you would use in LAGMAN, what we just saw in the other restaurant. We got a little egg on there, we got a little chili paste. I think we just gotta mix it all together. And I'm just gonna go for it. So the specific soup, it's like it's got a nice mix. The broth is kind of, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it has a hint of vinegar. They got scallions in there, they got some chili, it's got a little spice to it. It's probably my favorite thing that I had today, to be honest, which is maybe why it's the most famous Dungan Chinese dish. To go along with the ASHLAN Fu, these are PIROSHKI. This is actually like where the mix between the Russian connection comes in. PIROSHKI, very, very common Russian kind of, it's either baked or it's fried. This one's definitely fried. Sometimes it's stuffed with something, I'm not sure. We're gonna give it a rip in half. Hot because it was in the microwave. So this pierogi, really hot, stuffed with potatoes. It's fried, reheated in the microwave for sure. And it's a nice little accoutrement to your Chinese food. So guys, that was a tour of Dungan food, ethnic Chinese food, Chinese Muslims that moved here to Kyrgyzstan. Super interesting story, super interesting people, and delicious, delicious eats. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more Tales from the Road. We got more tasty and very interesting places to go in Kyrgyzstan. And then who knows where next. See you next time. Do svidaniya.